A very warm welcome in the class of Mathematics 1. We are in the module of integral calculus. In this module, we are in the topic of discussion of evolutes and involutes. This is the second lecture on this particular topic of evolutes and involutes. Myself Rupak Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, GIS College of Engineering. On evolutes and involutes, already one class is taken. We are going to take the second class on the same topic with some different perspective as well as some different applications. But the prerequisite for this second class on evolute and involutes are almost same as the previous class. So we need the concept of curves and obviously their physical real life interpretations and the classification and the variations of curves. Similarly, we must have now a concrete idea in two directions for curvature. The first direction is that its physical meaning and its visualization, and the second direction is that how to calculate the curvature for a given curve at a given point, and this also have two sub classifications. First one is that if we are trying to find out through this direct relationship between y and x or x and y, and the second one is that if it is represented in terms of parametric form. So depending on the given expression as well as depending on the problem, we have to go for this. Finally, we have to make a crystal clear idea on the locus, because we know that when we are going to trace the curvature, and parallelly we have to trace the radius of curvature and center of curvature, and the locus of that center of curvature will create the evolute of a given curve. So all these three are very important, as well as the fourth prerequisite of this class is the observation of the first class on evolutes and involutes, because both the class are linked. So if you have gone through the first class, then it will be easier for you to understand the synchronization of the first and second class. So let us start our journey for this second class. What is instructed here, please try to understand. We have to attach a string to a point on a curve. Then we have to extend the string so that it's tangent to the curve at the point of attachment. Means how we are going to attach the string such a way that it will become a tangent to that curve at the point of attachment. Clear? Then wind the string up, means we have to wrap it up, keeping it always taut, means it has to be maintained like this straightforward thing. Then the locus of the point traced out by the end of the string, that means if it is our string and the locus of the end point of the string is called, very importantly, involute of the original curve. So the original curve is called the evolute of the involute. Now we are going to illustrate this process for the circle. But before that, you please try to understand what is stated. If you have a curve and you are doing all these tools used, then ultimately the locus of the end of the string is involute, and the curve is called evolute of that involute. In the previous class, what we are doing, we are having one curve and we are trying to find out its evolutes. What we are doing now, we are having a curve, we are trying to find out its involute, and if we can successfully find out that involute, this given or original or mother curve is called the evolute of its involute. Clear? So let us see the diagram. First of all, observe the black circle which is not moving. Then observe the tangent in the black color whose end point is red. And after that, for each and every point, you please observe that what is going on. In your childhood days, you have done this various times. You have taken a string, you have made one solid item on the one end of that string, and the another end is taken in your hand and you are moving it. But in every cases, that movement does not make the decrement of the length of that string or thread. But imagine if you are rotating it by your finger in such a way that the thread is winding up in your finger, then for every one complete rotation, the length of the thread will be decreased by the perimeter of your finger. Please try to visualize this thing. So if this is your finger, and if you are trying to make one knot by this position, you are making this string over here. So after every rotation, this will be tightened on your finger. So one circular ring will be generated by the string on your finger. That means the length of the string is decreased by the perimeter of your finger. So in every rotation, it is decreased by 1, for the second rotation twice, for the third rotation thrice, and so on. So one time the length will be just 0. That means the total thread is now rounded or winded on your finger. The same thing is presented over here. Just what you are doing, that the end point of that circle, that the end point of that particular thread which is tangential in this particular circle is traced, is identified, is marked. That means we are marking the locus of that particular endpoint. After that, the curve in red color which is generated by this whole process, this is called the involute of the original curve, which is here the circle, black circle. So this red spiral is the involute of the black circle. So the black circle is the evolute of the red spiral. Is that clear? Please look at the figure, this dynamic figure, and try to make it crystal clear in your mind that how it is generated, who is involute of whom, who is evolute of whom, because there is an interrelationship between involute and evolute. Clear? So what we see, that if we take a circle and if we try to find out its evolute, you can think about the last class and you will identify that the center of the circle is the evolute of that circle. But the circle is itself the evolute of this spiral. So what is the relationship between spiral and the circle? Circle is the evolute of the spiral and the center of the circle is evolute of the circle. So spiral is the involute of the circle and circle is the involute of the center of the circle. So write it down in your own understanding and then please try to visualize this whole thing in your mind. Now one very important observation. It is told to us that although a curve has unique evolute, it has infinitely many involutes corresponding to the different choices of initial point. Not only initial point, suppose if you are taking the thread or the string what you are winding up, the length of that string is also having a different impact on this structure. So moving forward, we get this relationship and look at this. Dotted line gives us the curve and the solid line gives us the concept of involute. So this dotted line is our original curve and this is the involute of this dotted line. So what we get, tractates is the involute of catenary and if you think about the reverse direction, if you can see it here that if we take this one, so tractrix is the involute of this given curve. So what is the relationship between this given curve and this tractrix in the concept of evolute? Catenary is going to be the evolute of this tractrix. This catenary is going to be the evolute of this tractrix. Similarly, if you see this, if this is your circle, in the last diagram actually you have seen this circle involute is the involute of this circle. So who is the evolute? The reverse direction. And the beauty in deltoid is, it is also discussed in the last class, deltoid is the evolute of the deltoid with different size. So deltoid will be the involute of the deltoid with different size. So proceeding further, we can see that how this tractrix is generated. So look at this, where this blue line is the catenary and the red line is generated as the involute of the catenary according to the process described in the last slide, that you are following on string and you are winding up or you are trying to winding up it according to the curve, and the locus what is generated is the involute of that particular curve. So now if we proceed further for some more applications, these types of diagrams and mechanisms are known to us. So why I am representing this in this particular discussion? Because this is nothing but, if we zoom it up, we will see this particular structure is one position of the previous system. And if we want to give some mathematical implication on this, you have to see this particular position, that how smooth it is going on and how the tangents are generated on each and every position of that curved shape. So mathematically, if you see this, look at this, basically you are zooming it up, actually you are zooming this particular position and you get this zoom diagram over here, and look at this, the movement of this particular point. Look at the movement of this particular point, this common point, how it is moving, and in each and every cases this diagram is going on. So this is the application of mathematics in your engineering field. If you can feel the essence, if you can feel the beauty of this particular portion, then only your mind will be asking for the solution, asking for the understanding. Otherwise it will be completely a part of memorization, which is not going to be effective at all. Now what we are giving, we denote the center of curvature by the point C. Already we have discussed with coordinate eta and neta. If the curve gamma is given in parametric form, in x in terms of xt and y in terms of yt, then the coordinates will be generated. If it is in parametric form, that eta will be in this formula and neta will be in this formula, where x dash, y dash, x double dash, y double dash all are first order and second order differentiation of x and y with respect to t. So moving forward, what we get, we have to prove that the curve given by these equations, there are two equations in parametric form, is the involute of the circle of radius r centered at origin. So here the circle is stated, radius is also given, it is r, and the center is at origin. Okay, we have to show that this given curve in parametric form is the involute of the circle of radius r. So the circle of radius r is presented at origin. We have to show that this curve is going to be the involute, means this is going to be the evolute of this one. So this is the understanding of the technical part of this class, that when it is asked, we have to find out the relationship between evolute and involute, what is the relation, and then we can approach the problem in reverse direction also. So let us check the problem first. The whole problem is represented in front of you, but don't skip every line. We have to make the understanding clear for each and every steps. So we have to find the derivatives of x and y with respect to t, obviously, and we need x dash, x double dash, y dash and y double dash. So it is r cos t plus t sin t, the derivative of this one. So r is kept as a constant, it is out. Then cos t is minus sin t. Then t sin t is in uv form, so it will be sin t plus t cos t. So it is written. After that, this sin t and this sin t is cancelled out, and we get r t cos t. So these are the very simple calculations. I am not going to elaborate this one, but the calculation is presented in front of you. If you have any confusion, you can consult me, or as well as you can consult this calculation also. Now our job is to find out the coordinate of the center of curvature for the given curve. So if I calculate the fractional expression, what is there in the requirement of the center of curvature, we are naming it as d, we get it 1. So our calculation becomes very simple, because eta is nothing but x minus y dash d and neta is nothing but y plus x dash d, but d is 1. So what we get, x is represented as it was, and then minus y dash. Y dash is already calculated over here, so you can write it here. So after simplification, we get it as r cos t. Clear? Similarly, for neta, we are getting r sin t. So what is our final target? To remove t, or rather to establish the relationship between eta and neta, which is going to be the equation of the evolute of this given. So if we can get the evolute of this given curve is a circle centered at origin with radius r, then we can claim that this curve is nothing but the involute of that circle. So only the final lines are remaining. From these two relationships we can easily remove t and we get the relation is eta square plus neta square is equal to r square. Okay, what is this? This is nothing but the circle centered at origin of radius r. Now this is your diagram. This is the involute of this circle. So this is to be asked that we have to prove that this one is the involute. But what we have proved? We have proved that reverse one. We have proved the concept for the evolute for this particular circle, and we get it. It is okay. So we can claim that this one is going to be the involute of this circle centered at origin with radius r. So if it is clear, we can proceed further. We obviously have the information the involute of the circle is shaped like a spiral. Already we have seen it through the dynamic diagram. Now for the next problem, our job is to determine the evolute of the circle. We have already calculated the previous one, and now what we see, we know that evolute of the circle is the center of that circle by our logic, but now we are proving it by the problem. So we are again here calculating the parametric form, because the non-parametric form is discussed in the last class. So x equal to r cos t, y equal to r sin t is the parametric representation of this circle, of this one. Now our job is to just calculate x dash, x double dash, y double dash, where all of these are nothing but the differentiation with respect to t. So after getting x dash, x double dash, y double dash, we will just substitute those expressions in the expression of eta and neta. You can check that in x dash, in y dash, what are the expressions we are putting? The square of this one, the square of this one, and so on according to the requirement. So in the mathematical part, that means in the tool based mechanism, this is merely a very simple problem. But what we get, eta equal to 0, very important observation, and neta is also equal to 0. Means, yes, you are having one thing in your mind, that whatever the eta and neta is coming, we have to replace the t from both the equations, and then we will get the relationship between eta and neta. But the problem is, here you are getting eta as a constant and neta as a constant. So it is not possible for you to give any relationship, and nothing but the constant is 0. That means the coordinate of this particular calculation is coming as, what is this? This is the center of the circle, x square plus y square equal to r square. So this calculation proves that the evolute of the circle x square plus y square equal to r square is nothing but this center itself, because it is 0 0, and you are getting eta and neta. This coordinate point is 0 0. So this is the evolute of this circle x square plus y square is equal to r square. So is it not a beauty of the last two expressions, that the first one where you are finding out where the circle is the evolute, and now you are calculating the evolute of the circle. In the previous problem, if you see, you are finding out the circle as the evolute of this one. That is why the spiral is involute. And now what you are doing, that you have proved that the evolute of the circle is what. So we are getting a very beautiful relationship from where circle is in the middle position. Here is the center of the circle and here is the spiral. You can just write it as spiral. So do these calculations by your own hand, then only the concept will be building, otherwise it will be merely some calculation for you. So most probably today we have completed this particular discussion. Finally you have to find out the results of these assignments. So here you have to find out the evolute of the logarithmic spiral r is equal to e to the power theta. So it is r theta relationship means polar. And also in the next problem you have to find out the equation of the evolute of the hyperbola is y equal to 1 by x. So you can convert it into its parametric form, or you can do it the direct algebraic method also. And finally you have to think for the MCQs of these 4 problems. So the total lecture is generated with the help of these references. And finally I want to thank you all for your patience and want to share happy listening, happy learning. Thank you.